Hello and welcome to Base Knowledge Literature. If you bothered to read the title of this video, you must have realized that today we are talking about the major themes of Fahrenheit 451. This includes censorship, knowledge, and technology. If you're looking for something specific, I suggest clicking on one of the annotations on the screen to skip ahead. All right, here. Pick any one. Fahrenheit 451 takes place in the future where books are banned and burned upon discovery. Books are banned because the citizens have no interest in reading them and because they have been trained to be actively hostile towards books. Bradbury wrote this book during the rise of television. He thought people were offered too much stimulation, and in his world this led to nobody having the concentration to read at all. The mass of published material was so overwhelming that books were condensed into what is basically SparkNotes, and people would read those versions instead of reading the actual books. And I know that nobody today would just look at a plot summary conveniently placed online, instead of reading the book. You guys are all better than that. The character stated that the censorship was necessary. Certain things were banned because they offended special interest groups and minorities. One of the characters also said that the censorship was necessary because books contain so many contradictory viewpoints and the complexity would just leave the readers confused. The censorship is particularly interesting in this novel because most of it seems to be self-enforced by the general population. The government took away the population's ability to dissent and made such a stimulating environment for its citizens that the censorship didn't bother anyone. Censorship was put in place so long ago that the only person in the entire book that remembers it is Professor Faber. He was the only one that was still around when you were allowed to own and read books. And that's particularly interesting and important because he was very old. Younger characters like Mildred, Montag, and Clarice probably had never seen a book except when they were being burned. The stimulating environment provided by the government is so interesting because it creates such a censorship that everyone believes themselves to be happy and they enforce it upon themselves to stay happy by not reading or not doing anything that doesn't seem normal. A big struggle in the book is the tension surrounding knowledge. As a fireman, Montag's main duty is to destroy books and the knowledge that is held in them. This is supposed to make everyone equal, but it really just makes everyone conform. Montag encounters multiple people that make him search for knowledge, and each has a different theoretical viewpoint that helps destroy the ignorance within him that he shares with the rest of the society. Knowledge is gained through experience, scholarship, and by thinking critically. That, I believe, was the main point of the book. Montag lived in ignorance in the beginning, but once he encountered those who believed in free thought and critical thinking, he began to challenge the ideas of society rather than just accepting everything he was told to be absolutely correct. His mentors, Clarice, Faber, and Granger, were important in the process of processing and passing on knowledge and allowing him to have independent thought outside of other people. I think it's important to also remember that books don't have the answer to everything, even though that's where Montag seeks his knowledge. A book is a voice from someone that you may never encounter, but it tells you what they knew and what they thought to be true. And it contains all of their knowledge and wisdom. And that's important because it opens a whole new world of teachers and mentors and ideas. You don't need a book to find wisdom. And you can learn from your own experience and the experience of those around you. Question everything though, because thinking critically is the only way to tell if somebody's just making stuff up. The novel was written as a criticism of television. Bradbury blamed television for replacing literature, curiosity, and free thought. In the story, Mildred reflects this as she refers to the television as her family. This is an example of television replacing human interaction. Mildred was a symbol for society as a whole in the world, and we can assume that the rest of the population acted in such a similar way that they didn't have family or friends or human interaction. They had their television sets. The people in the novel like technology though. They say that they're happier when they don't have to think. And Faber says that books can be beaten down with reason, but television overwhelms the senses and they cannot be reasoned with. And that's why everyone always thinks that they're happy, and that's why people prefer television over books, because They don't need to reason and they don't need to think. Technology is also the government's means of oppression. Television, loud music, fast cars. All of this entertainment helps create the censorship of the books and of the knowledge of the past. I mean, there was an atomic war going on and nobody seemed the least bit concerned because, after all, they had already won too. And I think it's important that the government is making all of their decisions. The government and the television can tell every single person in the world to just go look outside and see if they see something suspicious, all at the same time. And they can only do that with technology. Every single person in that society did what they were told by the television, and they were all satisfied, theoretically. Those are the major themes of Fahrenheit 451. If you have any questions or anything you would like to ask our great staff, please leave them down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you'd like to hear more from us.